are these people?
Talking about our speaker who basically um pulled a stunt, not told anyone that she was heading to Thailand, but she actually ended up doing so. That was the hot topic, at least over the weekend into Monday and yesterday. So this article is from Brett Wilkins, who I think Reef and I have discovered that we pull up his articles a lot because they usually are very good, and we probably should try and get him on at some point, since we feature a lot of his stuff. And he writes for Common Dreams, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. So critics call Pelosi's confirmed trip to Taiwan a dangerous war proclamation. Taiwan is China. The UN says so. The US and China have said so. The one anti-imperialist offer, Danny Haifeng, added that Nancy Pelosi has gone full neocon to violate the one China policy. Oh.
You got it?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm still technology. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi will visit Taiwan this week, U.S. and Taiwanese officials said Monday, despite warnings from China, the Biden administration, and anti-war campaigners. Although a stop on the island, which nearly the entire international community, including the United Nations and the U.S., consider part of China, is not on Pelosi's public itinerary, a senior Taiwanese official told CNN that the California Democrat is expected to stay overnight in Taiwan, where she will reportedly meet with officials, including President Tsai Ing-wen.
Why is it you're not changing the thing? No.
It's not.
Try now. See if it goes. If not, I can like reset stuff.
No, it's not working. I think it loses it after a certain point if you don't use it.
Yeah, here. In the chat up here. There you go.
Okay.
Try that one. Oh god. There we go.
Wait, did it work or
go back?
Nope.
Weird. Okay. Hold on.
Do you mind doing the slides?
I do not.
Okay.
All right.
Technology, folks.
Yeah.
All right.
If not, we can also just do this. Hold on.
Yeah, just like that kicked me out. So, okay.
Yeah.
I'll try it again later, at least for the last story. Okay.
Here. Let's use this code. We'll just make sure it works, and because we haven't really even started, so.
All right. So. Oh. All right. Let's see now.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
That's so weird. That just kicked me out like that.
Anyway, you want to start from the top?
Yeah.
Cool.
You want me to start again?
Would.
All right.
That would be nice.
All right. All right. Critics call Pelosi's confirmed trip to Taiwan a dangerous war proclamation. Taiwan is China. The UN says so. The US and China have said so. Noted one anti-imperialist offer, Danny Haifeng, added that Nancy Pelosi has gone full neocon to violate the one China policy.
Gotcha. Did it go?
Did it work?
Apparently not. Why? Okay. What?
All right.
Sure.
Okay. All right. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi will visit Taiwan this week, U.S. and Taiwan officials said Monday, despite China, the Biden administration, and anti-war campaigners. Although a stop on the island, which nearly the entire international community, including the United Nations and the US, consider part of China, is not on Pelosi's public itinerary, a senior Taiwanese official told CNN that the California Democrat is expected to stay overnight in Taiwan, where she will reportedly meet with officials including President Tsai Ing-wen. At a Monday press conference in Beijing, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Zhao Liang said of his government has repeatedly made clear to the US side our serious concern over Speaker Pelosi's potential visit to Taiwan, and I firm opposition to the visit. Pelosi is the third highest ranking official in the US government, which means it will be highly sensitive for her to visit Taiwan no matter what, he continued, adding that such a trip constitutes gross interference in China's internal affairs. Zhao said the visit will also seriously undermine China's sovereignty and territorial integrity, wantonly trampling on the One China principle, greatly threatening peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait, severely undermine China-US relations, and lead to a very serious situation and grave consequences. The People's Liberation Army of China will never sit idly by, he added ominously. It will make a resolute response and take strong countermeasures to uphold China's sovereignty and territorial integrity. As for what measures, if she dares to go, then let's wait and see. So this is, so we already read this, but this is what Danny tweeted out over the weekend. As he said, Taiwan is China. The UN says so. The US and China have said so in 3 different joint communiques. It's called the One China policy, and Nancy Pelosi has gone full neocon to violate it. So continuing the article, in a Monday video commemorating the 59th birthday of Chinese People's Liberation Army, China's Eastern Theater Command vowed it was always ready to fight and would bury any invading enemies. During a Monday press conference, U.S. National Security Council Strategic Communications Coordinator John Kirby said that Pelosi would be arriving in Taiwan on a military plane while the aircraft carrier USS Ronald Reagan and other American warships operate nearby. Taiwan's Ministry of National Defense said Monday that 4 Chinese warplanes flew through the island's air defense identification zone. Last week, Hugh Juan, sorry for names, a columnist for Chinese government-owned Global Times, suggested shooting down the plane transporting the House Speaker as a last resort to prevent it from landing in Taiwan. While US President Joe Biden has said how the Pentagon officials believe Pelosi's visit is not a good idea right now, he has been criticized for not objecting more vocally to the trip. Chinese President Xi Jinping reported told Biden during a lengthy phone conversation last Thursday that those who play with fire will eventually get burned, while the American leader asserted that Congress is an independent branch of the US government whose members make their own decisions. Really?
Yep.
Anti-war voices continue to sound the alarm over a visit that numerous observers say increases the risk of a US-China war. The PLA has repeatedly warned that their fighter jets are ready to follow, intercept, electronically interfere, force a landing, or drive Pelosi's plane back, noted author and Black Agenda Report journalist Danny Haifong. This is not a drill. Pelosi's trip to Taiwan is a dangerous war proclamation. So this was what a tweet from the Quincy Institute. So underneath that, that U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is expected to visit Taiwan as part of her tour of Asia. And then the Quincy Institute responded, Pelosi's trip to Taiwan is such a bad idea, it's hard to know where to begin to criticize it. Quincy Institute's Dalzell 60 says, it will drastically increase the chance of a crisis, even conflict with China to no good end. There are no discernible upsides to this visit, but plenty of downsides. It will perturb Beijing, potentially even provoking hawkish actions or hostilities while failing to deliver any concrete gains for the American people or Biden. The only person who stands to benefit from such a trip is Speaker Pelosi, who seems intent on burnishing her legacy as a longstanding leading critic of China, national security be damned. So, any thoughts so far, Reef, before we continue?
I mean, it's just the fact that they were willing to like push this, you know, like they didn't care at all. Like, it's very strange to me.
I don't think
Like,
it's strange. I don't honestly, I don't think it's strange considering that, didn't Pelosi buy shares in the computer chips, NVIDIA computer chips, like maybe a couple of weeks ago.
yeah, definitely.
So,
Um, and they just put out their big like, you know, conferencey stuff with like. Anyway, but yeah, no, absolutely. Like, um, yeah. So, right. Okay.
I mean, it's just very blatant, but I think the idea of Pelosi going under the guise of, I don't know, diplomacy and whatever is just kind of bullshit. But then, like, the other thing is, it's like, um, technically, would we have people in government who do trips like these,
Yes.
right?
Right. You
So
would
how is
think.
it that, right? So how is it, and who is Secretary of State right? I forgot who's Secretary of State right now. Um,
Um,
if anyone in chat also knows, is it Blinken? It's Blinken,
I think so.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why is it that if it were like in this case, Blinken went to Asia instead of Pelosi? That's kind of what I'm wondering, and I think that no one's necessarily talking about that either. So it just seems very weird. Not to me, but it just seems kind of asinine that Pelosi would go over to Asia and went to Taiwan despite, threats from China, don't do it. And,
Yeah.
but she still goes anyway. And I'm pretty sure, like the article says, basically, just to kind of prove that she can. But I feel like there's a personal motive as far as, thank you, Anthony. Yes, Blinken. Um, like, that benefits her personally as far as, her personal wealth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, anyway, continuing with the article, Ariel Gold, executive director of the Fellowship of Reconciliation and former co-director of the peace group Code Pink, lamented that one would think that while already in the midst of a Cold War that could easily turn hot with nuclear Russia, it would be prudent not to escalate within nuclear China, but unfortunately, Pelosi doesn't feel this way. Roots Action co-founder Norman Solomon wrote for Common Dreams Monday, the arrogance of power is especially ominous and it's despicable when a government leader risks huge numbers of lives in order to make a provocative move on the world's geopolitical chessboard. Nancy Pelosi's plan to visit Taiwan is in that category. Thanks to her, her chances of a military confrontation between China and the United States has spiked upward. This is the kind of leadership, added Solomon, that can get us all killed. And unfortunately, thank God,
Yeah.
at least for now, that didn't happen, and Nick Cruz, also known as Socialist MMA,
Mm-hmm.
from RBN, tweeted out, I believe, yesterday, thank God for the restraint of China. China had every right to shoot that hag into the sea, but a war would destroy the global working class, and they acknowledged that. China consistently forced to be the adult in the room while the US is run by psychopaths.
Yep.
The entire world just saw the US act unbelievably reckless for no good reason. This is why the US empire is in decline and other countries are preferring to work with China. Humanity will be better off with China disrupting US unipolar dominance, and it's clear now.
Yep.
So,
I think
any
I
last
saw.
thoughts?
I think I saw Yeti in those threads as well, saying that China did this for environmental reasons. Because if they had blown Nancy Pelosi up into the ocean, it would have polluted things. Which is hilarious. But yeah, I mean, Like,
I mean, I think just overall, and honestly, I didn't want to talk about this, but I think since this was top news over the last past few days, we had to kind of talk about it. But I think, it just seems, just, I mean, give it to Pelosi. It's not a surprise that she ended up in Taiwan, but I think just blatant disregard, of the warnings of what can happen or potentially what can happen if
I
she
mean,
went.
I'm surprised the explosives that the CIA rigged on that plane to explode it over Taiwan didn't go off. That's what I'm surprised at.
Right.
Like, I'm surprised that we didn't just like remember the main this plane.
Right.
Like, that would have been for like nuclear Armageddon. I don't think would have been a good idea.
Well, I think, just in what Nick kind of tweeted out, like I think China's aware. And it sounds like China's very aware, like the global implications if they, especially with America, like if they were to try something, then, like the US has enough firepower to start something back with them.
yes.
I don't think they necessarily want to do that unless it's absolutely necessary. I think this is kind of their way of saying Pelosi is not worth it, basically, to do anything
No.
with.
I mean,
So,
I
which,
think what both China and Russia tend to realize is they're much more aware of what modern warfare looks like than people think they
right,
are. Like,
right,
they're prepared to do just about whatever we would be able to do. Like, they're able to
right,
implement a similar amount of force. Granted, they don't have like the number, like we have a much larger military, but that doesn't mean we
right,
can implement it in a region any better than they can.
right.
So like I think people, the average person doesn't realize that a sudden war with China would not just be America crushing it.
Well, I
Like,
think as far as numbers, I think, like we have the largest military in the world. But I think, given who's in leadership in government right now, it doesn't necessarily mean that, yeah, we have the largest army in the world, but that doesn't mean we're going to be strategic as far as if we
yeah,
were to go into war, like what, I think just look at the wars that we've been in over the last 2 decades. It's just basically been like, well, one, they're basically run, the main goal of it was money, number
yeah,
one. But two, it wasn't like, any strategy towards you know, what people were in war for. I feel
no,
like if China or even Russia were to go into war, they would with less numbers.
yeah,
There'll be a little more calculating as far as what I mean. Look at Russia with Ukraine right now. Like
yeah,
Ukraine, like Russia hasn't done a whole lot, but like Ukraine is tanked right now.
yeah,
So so given that Russia or China can do a lot more, and I think can be a lot more effective with less, I think again, just kind of speaking to Nick's tweet, like I feel like if they were to go into war, they want to make sure it's absolutely necessary. And again, to start a war just of due to Pelosi, just kind of like basically flipping the bird as far as what China was saying, don't come.
yeah.
I think,
It's like Archduke
personally, I think,
Ferdinand bullshit.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
uh, I just feel like, for one, you look at the BRICS alliance that's happening too, which I know Medhurst talked about with this, I think, as well. Right? It's like, if you look at the amount of countries that are willing to join, what is it, BRICS, the
Hmm.
BRICS alliance, and like they're setting up economic like walls. They're thinking about making a unified like currency there of that alliance. Like, that's not good for us if you're talking strategically. Like, this is Cold War stuff where the sides are flipping. Essentially, that like
Right.
we're doing Cold War nonsense. Like, Reagan used to do flybys of Russia like,
Hmm.
which essentially we're at proxy. We've been in a proxy war with Russia for ever now. You
Right.
know, as long as they can continue to stick without people wanting to press red buttons. You know, the issue is like when you involve other countries along with that, along with China, like, and they have, I mean, they have the like. If it's, I don't think we win against Russia, China, and South America. I don't think we do.
No.
Like, where does Europe fall along that line too? Like, you know, so, and we're
I feel like I feel like in Europe it might be more of a split in
yeah,
some ways. Like I could definitely, definitely
yeah, like
like Western
World War
Europe.
II was like,
Right.
you know, I think if those wars have taught us anything, it's that a prolonged war with Russia never works out. It's like
Right.
these people haven't played Risk before, you know? Like, anyway,